Hello, friends. Welcome to the Drive Fitness program. Before we get started with today's episode, I want to remind everyone to please give us a 5-star review on both Apple Podcasts and for our app on the App Store. If you could please take the time during this podcast episode just to go rate us 5 stars, that would really help us out. Also, from now on, new episodes of the podcast will always be released on Tuesdays. There might not be an episode every week. It'll probably be 2 to 3 times a month. However, I will be posting on our Instagram story on Monday nights whether or not you can expect an episode on that Tuesday. I want to make sure our top priority is still the app. So as I mentioned, no promises, but we're going to get consistent with the day of the week. You can always expect that new episodes will be out on Tuesdays. So just check in, guys, to see if we got one for you. Returning for a third time is my partner, Matt Dromazos. Drive Fitness right now is just me and him, so he is the leader for all of our software endeavors. In this episode, me and Matt are brainstorming what our next set of features should be. If you guys didn't know, we launched our app back in January, and we've been kind of just working out the bugs, getting everything working better. We've added just a way to discover workout programs and upload workout programs to a Discover page. And we kind of knew we were going to do that, right? And so at this point, we're finally looking towards the future and thinking what our next set of features should be for the app, right? So me and Matt hadn't talked actually on the phone in a month or two. We communicate a lot through text, and we both had some good ideas. So it felt like a good vibe. I was like, you know what? Let's just have a brainstorm session, put it on the pod. And I think it turned out really well. You know, we bounced a bunch of ideas back and forth. And, you know, while you guys are listening, you guys might have an idea for the app too. So if we talk about anything that you think is a great idea, or you have a new idea for our app that pops into your head, you know, make sure you reach out to me. Let me know what you guys want to see in the app. Along with let me know if you guys run into any issues or any problems while using it. I really appreciate anyone who's testing it right now. And, you know, we could just use all the feedback in the world. And honestly, if you put some time into the app, like I would honestly be down to, you know, have you on and talk to you about a brainstorming session just like this, because, you know, there's no bad ideas. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. One last thing, thank you, Frank Morazzo, for our theme music. Enjoy. Now that it's recording, can you tell the story about my man bun?
Yeah. So it was like 2 weeks ago or something, you like hit me up and I get this text from you. You're like, yo, go like check out my like latest post. And I was like, okay, he's probably talking about like some Instagram post or something. And so I go on and immediately like the first thing on, you know, top, it shows your latest Instagram stories. I saw yours as the very first one and I click on it and it's you in the fucking mirror with this like huge man bun. I was like, yo, why do you want me to see your man bun? Maybe you're super, I don't know.
And then I start texting you. I'm like, yo, share it. I'm like, share it on your story. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Why do you want me to share your man bun? I was like, I don't know. You're like,
then I'd also posted on Drive Fitness just like a demo video, and I'm like, no, dude, share our demo video. What are you talking about, man? That's just like,
you're like, yo, is it good? I was like, holy shit. You're like, holy shit.
Is it good? You're like, I think you said like, it's not bad. Like,
yeah, it's not a bad shit or something.
It's not bad or something. Oh, that had me so geeked. I was like, oh man, Matt thought I was talking about the man bun.
Yeah, that was fucking
no,
weird.
But yeah, I'm like probably 2 to 3 weeks away from just having a legit ponytail. So right now it can't all come together in the back, so I have to like pull back like in a bun. But very soon it's just gonna be like just like a hippie ponytail, dude.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna let it rock until like this is all over. I mean, I still haven't gotten the vaccine yet, so we'll see how long it gets, man. But it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, if you're remote, you don't even really have to be on video most of the time. Like I'm never on video.
I think it will honestly help me get a coding job, you know, because like
They
these
like
guys,
videos
they
from
all
you.
wear like sweatpants and they look however they want to look anyways, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, I blend in more now, you know, to the tech
yeah,
world, I think.
absolutely, dude. There's a lot of people, a lot of coders with man buns. Absolutely.
Hmm. I mean, hey man, whatever helps you code, dude. I don't think they really care much.
Nah, it's coding, man. No one really sees your face.
Nah, nah. Um, what's good, dude? You want to talk about some of these features? I feel like we haven't talked in like a long ass time. So
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
you seem to have like a bunch of ideas. I'm like, whoa, okay, let's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
flush all these out, dude. You know?
I've been going in because like I won't be working as much like starting next week, but I've been on the bench at my job. And so throughout the day, I'm like coding shit and like thinking about different things. And like, I feel
Mm,
like I've been like honestly, like constantly thinking about the app and like what works, what looks better than not. So a
uh-huh.
lot of stuff I've been thinking about is like design decisions. Um, but I've also been thinking just like random thoughts coming in about features. So I'm going to start on like for my ideas, like the more practical side, getting into like the non-practical side. One that I've already started to is this heart rate tracker, which it'll only be a thing if you have a watch that, connects to your phone. But I kind of have the foundation of that set up, and I need to get an Apple Watch to actually like test it out, to be able to test it out.
I have
Uh,
one.
yeah, so like I think honestly it I'm gonna write up a little bit more code and just be like, yo, can you just test it out? But like moving forward, I'm gonna definitely need to have one. Uh,
It would be way more fun for you to have your own Apple Watch and mess around with the shit too, you know?
this came out. I don't know how long it was, but they came out with like an S version, like a Apple Watch S or iWatch S.
Mm,
So it's like
that's
a
dope.
cheaper $260 one.
It's slimmer or something?
Yeah, it doesn't have like all the brand new features, but it's got like the baseline stuff like heart rate and like some blood shit. I don't know, but it's got some cool shit.
Mm,
The
dope.
new one can do like fucking wild measurements, but like for our stuff, we don't really need to worry about that.
Yeah.
But
It's funny, like I don't really know what to do with all the data on my watch sometimes, you know, which is why I think it would be cool to take some of this data and like funnel it into our game, because then at least it's like, oh, it's helping me get the points. You know, I think that helps people understand like
I've been
what this data
thinking
is for.
like ways, actually, I've been like researching on how like your heart rate is incorporated into like your fitness and like working out. And the main easiest thing that most people know of is the target heart rate, where like if you're doing extensive like workouts, it's got to be like 70 or 80% of your max heart rate. And so what the idea is that when you're working out, you can like toggle the button and it'll give you a graph of like like your heart rate in like a line graph of your heart rate over the last minute. And so it'll say like what your average was for like the last 5 seconds, and it'll be like you got to ramp up your exercise. You're like way below your target heart rate, or you got to like cool it down like because you're like way above it. And
Mm-hmm.
so the way people get the most effective workouts is by trying to be within that range for the majority of their workout.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only like we can absolutely incorporate into the points, but just to have people like have better workouts,
Mm-hmm.
we can have them do that, have it run in the background, and give them like notifications, like
Mm.
local notifications, just saying like, hey, if your phone's off, just get a little buzz either on the watch or on your phone. Just be like, ramp it up or slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
So is that, and then you can also have that with running. I think having it run in the background when you're running is probably the most useful point for that, because you're not going to be
Yeah.
looking at your phone constantly when you're running.
We definitely have to have the ability to turn those notifications off, because I could imagine those being extremely annoying if I didn't want them, you know, but if I did want them, then they'd be dope.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
would be probably a pretty easy thing to do. Just like have it as a toggle as well on the screen.
Well, we haven't even set up notifications yet anyways, so it would just be a display for now, right? You know?
So there's a difference between local notifications and push notifications.
Mm,
Push notifications, which I am starting to set up, requires like a lot more, actual setup,
yeah.
uh, where you have to talk, or you have to do some stuff with Apple and Google. But the local notifications is just a plugin for Ionic, where you just say like, "Hey, push this local notification," and that's all you have to do. You
Okay.
just 5 lines of code and you do it.
So since the app's already running, we can push a notification much easier, right?
Yeah, the only problem that I've thought about is when it's running in the background, where your code isn't really, even though like the app might be tracking your location, it's not exactly running our like own code that we could say like, hey, push a notification to. We
Mhm.
might be able to do that. I don't know. That's going to be like one of the hurdles that we're going to have to get through with that. But I think that's probably one of the more feasible features that are like really cool, like really like next level kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then we can obviously like put that in the points algorithm. Like if you got your target heart rate for 90% of your workout, then you get an extra like 100 points or something like that.
Yeah. Especially maybe not at first, but eventually we want to give them like goals, right? And if they're trying to have like a more endurance based workout session, then that should definitely be a focus of their points.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a strength, if they're just focusing on strength, I don't know. You sometimes you need like 3 to 5 minutes of rest. And at that point, your heart rate's not going to get into that zone, but that's not your goal, you know?
So
So,
yeah, it's different when you're doing, like, you want to have a different range of your target heart rate is a different range when you're doing less extraneous workouts
oh,
than
word.
doing like endurance.
Okay,
So,
so we can get their goal and then set the range, and then the points should be the same as long as they're in that range, right?
yeah,
Yep. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I've been learning about that kind of stuff too with this certification I'm getting. So if the research you're doing checks out with what I'm learning, then we can put those ranges together.
yeah. I mean,
And
I'm just looking it up on the internet. Like, you're probably getting more information than I do.
no, dude, it's crazy. I'm getting this personal training certification, and so like I got through all the material. Now I'm studying, and I'm like, I still feel like I don't know how to build workout programs, because you keep asking me about stuff. And then I spent like 5 or 6 hours yesterday just researching online how to build workout programs. And I feel like I learned more than I did in this whole like certification.
Yeah,
like I learned a bunch of stuff, but I also learned a bunch of other stuff that's
yeah,
not important and applies to what I want to do with the app. And I'm like, I feel like the certification is a lot more of just like the credibility, like a
right.
college degree or something. It's just, it'll give me the right to be a personal trainer and charge people money. But I feel like once I get the degree, there's a lot more research I want to do on, like, I feel like you can do research online and find more and if not better information than I'm learning in this class. But it is what it is. I got to get certified just to say that I'm certified.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm sure like it'll give you some more like insights when you're actually building the workout. It's like, hey, like, oh, I remember this piece of information I learned from that. Like that,
Hmm.
you know, help me decide about these workouts or something like that. Like,
Yeah. And when I deal with clients too, I mean, there's stuff in there about like the psychology of clients and, a little bit of like business advice, and there's all sorts of good advice in there. But when it comes to like the how much it's applicable to our app, like I learn so much more when I just do what you're doing and just research whatever feature I'm focused on. So I guess my point to all that was the stuff you're learning is definitely not invalid at all, if you're using proper sources.
yeah, I mean, I'll like randomly just Google something and just like to get an idea, because like I'm not gonna
Hmm.
go and like actually code that in yet, but like it's helping me think about what to do with the app. But um, yeah, I think leading in with that, one of the cool things that we could do is just like put out, instead of like whole programs, which we should definitely. I want to have like a mix of both, where the people who like following the classes, they just
Uh-huh.
do it to have fun. They just open the app and then they see like on our Discover page, just like as you see programs, you also just see like easy ones where you can just click and start it. Just like, oh, I want to do that. That sounds fun. Like, and just you click it. You don't have to save it or anything. It opens up and it starts and it goes that page where it starts tracking it there.
Yeah. Also even for an official workout, right? Say it's like the dumbbell beginner one. At some point, I feel like we should put in there completed or not completed for each day. Oh, and this is just a random side fact, but remember we were calling programs or plans routines?
Yeah.
And we were calling, like a template for a day to do, a workout day. Okay, so I did switch them to programs, but a day is called a routine. I don't know. We were getting those namings wrong. So
yeah, no idea
the
what
whole program is a program, and then what we call a workout day, we need to start calling that a routine. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to get a little confusing on your back end, but that it took me so long. We just got in the wrong naming convention because we were calling a whole program a routine, but it's not.
Right.
Like there's a program is made up of routines. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So anyways, let's say they've completed like 2 out of 8 routines, right? Just somewhere on the back end, we can like check that. So like, okay, routine 1 completed, routine 2 completed, and then when they go to the front page, it'll have routine 3 right there, and it'll say start routine 3 because they'll like the app will know where they are in that program,
right?
And they could just pull that along with what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? They should also be able to just like pull up that day too.
Right. If they're following a program, it's just like, like as soon as you open up, it's like the next workout to do.
Yeah. So it's like you were saying, like a bike class, an outdoor cardio run, the next, day in your program. Like that's just kind of like thrown in there with them as like quick grab options.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I've been thinking about a lot with just accessibility, where you don't have to learn anything to use the app. Like right now, if you want to, build the workout system, you have to learn it, which isn't, it's not too hard to learn, but just making it as easy as possible for the user, where it's just like, all right, start this. And then when they open it back up the next day, it's like, all right, I'm already on the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could just add, like start dumbbell beginner program and put that on the home screen so they don't have to go find it, if they haven't started a workout program, we have a default one there. That's our like beginner dumbbell one,
Right.
And so they don't even have to go to the discover page. They can just be like, oh, what's this? Start. And then it's just like, boom, you're starting. And it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this, and then if they, I don't want to do this, well, then they can go find like the intermediate one or the expert one. But just until they start a different one, we just make that much more accessible for like a brand new user.
It's either that, or the other option I was thinking of, I'm flipping back and forth between the two, is when you first open up the app, how when you do this with other apps, it'll like kind of gray out the screen and bring a little pop-up up. It'll say like, this button is where you can go and do this.
Yeah.
This, like you could do that, or you could just have everything there right in front. I'm not really sure which one we should really go for.
Yeah, dude. I've done that to our website in a way. I just use audio. Remember I showed you. So that I almost was like, should I embed audio in the app? And then I was like, nah. I feel like there's a reason they use visual pop-ups. Like I feel like you're at the gym, you're listening to music, you might want to read what to do. Right. But basically that same thing of like, oh, here's just like in a welcome to the app kind of feature, type of thing. Yeah.
At the very beginning,
There's a word for it. I forget what it's called.
A walkthrough?
Something like that, yeah.
But that can be like a pretty easy feature that we can like throw in. It's just like you have a local storage item that just says if this is true. If it's the first time opening up the app, then show these pop-ups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a bad idea. But if people think it's too complicated, I know like just building them yourself can be a little bit complicated, like building the whole programs, because you have to go through a bunch of different steps to actually get to a place where you have a whole program, right? But once you actually, I think for the people who actually start one of our our programs, and then they're like, oh, hey, like I can actually use this to build my own. Feel more comfortable after doing one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, or add to it or change it up or whatever,
Yeah.
I feel like at least you want that structure of like the weekly breakdown, even if I was an expert in like a personal trainer, I might not want to just sit there and build it from scratch. I might want to start with one of ours and then start changing, even if I was going to almost completely change it up, just so I have that like structure in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we need to make it like just have those like little pop-ups like you were saying, make it more obvious on how you could do that,
Right. Like probably maybe the first time you actually click on the actual tab, it'll just bring that pop-up up and say like a program is comprised of these routine days. You add add exercise to your routine days, and then you can also set like in the app you can set the default sets and weights, and like say you're doing a cardio exercise, you can set how long you're going to do it. For like a lifting exercise, you can set the reps and weight, so you can also like set the defaults to that, and you just kind of detail that on the screen. But people wouldn't really know to do that unless they clicked on it. Unless they're like being curious and like thinking like, oh, well, what can I edit here? They're not going to think to do that. And that's why I think having the pre-built ones initially is good, because then you have all these configurations already done where if you have the default reps and weight done and the default time, then there's no input. It's just like start, stop, start, stop.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see now with the updated workout page that you now, like you click when you start it, and it'll show you like how long you've been doing it, and then you click stop, and then it goes to the next set, instead of just saying like input log. Mm-hmm. And so this is kind of getting us set up to do interval training, where the sets that you're doing is not specifically just logging it. It's like saying, okay, I want a timer that says like I need to do this for 2 minutes. Like if you're doing abs, you do abs for a set amount of time. You each want to work out. So it's kind of like that.
There's something called an EMOM, every minute on the minute, right? Where you do a certain exercise for like a minute straight, like push-ups or knee crunches or whatever, or I think you do like, they'll give you like 10 and you have to do like 10 reps every minute, so like it's a 1 minute, you do 10 reps and then you rest until it hits 2 minutes, and then you do 10 reps and then it's 3 minutes, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
That's an example of like a time-based thing that it's not focused as much on weight as it is just like a interval time. And there's something other than an EMOM, something similar like that. Like there's several different like scenarios like that,
So that's interesting you say that, because that's essentially one of the next easy features that I want to just throw in is like interval training, where it's just like you're saying, every minute on the minute, it says what the exercise is, it says how long you're going to do it. When you press start, it gives you the countdown, and you just keep doing it until it stops. And then possibly we have like an audio cue that says like when it gets done at 3, 2, 1, it just goes beep, 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 and then let you know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy. And for also people that don't want to like dive as deep into tracking all their shit, that's like a quicker, quicker, tangible thing they can do like here and there,
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking.
Like ideally we want everyone to like track everything, right? But for instance, like Blake is very happy using the app, just the cardio piece, and that's great. Like I don't want him to like track everything if that's annoying for him. I want the app to actually just benefit him when he wants it to, and that's all he wants from it. So great, And exactly. So, there might be just a handful of users who just want to use our app for the EMOM feature, and they don't want to, spend the time to track everything else. Then, like you were saying, maybe something like that from the home screen or the workout page, they can just get what they need out of it,
Yeah, and that's why this comes back to the heart rate thing I was talking about, because then it's just for the people who just want to like no hassle do it. Um, it gives them a reason to do it. A reason to just click through it, because then it shows you actual real time data about yourself. And a lot of people are starting to wear Apple Watches now. So if like the main thing, heart rate for people who want to lose weight, that's like a huge thing, is to be able to see what your heart rate is if you're doing just cardio exercises or just muscle endurance exercises. So it all brings into feasibility and then giving you like benefit from doing it, giving you like a reason to do it.
I like how you just said muscle endurance too, because one of the reasons I was like, we need to take some of these workout features out. Remember how you had like the columns that said bulking and cutting, and like the research that I'm doing and like the certification I'm doing, they don't use those words. Like bulking and cutting are like nutritional terms. You know what I'm saying? That's based on how you eat, And so like cutting would be called like muscle endurance, and bulking, there'd probably be a strength and a hypertrophy section too. So it's like, I don't know if this is exactly right, but like about like reps 1 to 8 are strength, reps 8 to 15 are hypertrophy, and reps 15 and plus is muscle endurance. So like I want to get like, I don't want to mess it up and tell people like this is a cutting workout when it's like cutting has all to do about how you're eating mostly, you know what I'm saying? And not about how you're lifting, and so, and plus hype, and I might have even put those terms in already, but I don't like hypertrophy as like, I don't think anyone would know what that is, because I didn't know what that was. And so I might think of like a more user friendly words for those, like bulking and cutting were really user friendly, but I don't know if they're the right terms to use,
Yeah, it might give, I don't want to like misinform people.
Yeah, because you're only going to bulk up if you eat more. Like that's, that's how it works. Apparently, I've been finding out.
Yeah. Why am I doing a bulking workout when I'm like, I'm not like getting bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, muscle strength and muscle endurance, and then whatever we can come up with for a better word for that, along with. I was thinking like cardio. I'm trying to find the words for like cardio distance and cardio sprint, like fast versus like fast paced cardio versus like long distance cardio. I'm not sure what the words are for that, but that would be the other two to add in.
I think sprints is a good word, or interval cardio is a good word. But I mean, you kind of already have a distance out on the outdoor tracking. I guess a lot of people do treadmill though. So
yeah, what I was thinking is you could have sets of cardio. Like you do, if you're doing treadmill, then you do like 10 minutes at this pace, and then you have another set where you do 10 minutes at this pace with like incline of like 1, like adding ways to track different variables in the actual cardio for like bikes and treadmills and ellipticals and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend, she does that when she doesn't just run at the same pace. She's very intentionally switching up the speed and stuff. And I think right, it's kind of annoying if she ran for an hour to like then think back and be like, I sprinted over here and I did this over here, but like if we set it up like a plan, like the more we set up ahead of time, sometimes the less the user would have to input, or I mean, we'd have to find people to build stuff for us, but the more that we can build tools where then trainers can set things up for other users can set things up for other users. But as long as the end user is following like basically a cardio prescription like that, where they increase the speed, sometimes they decrease the speed other times, then there'd be less input,
No, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
it's just simply follow it along, and that's what the whole rating thing and like popular routines is. I'm trying to open the door to start having people wanting to create their own routines, so it can be like a social aspect to it, and the way that like you get like a 5-star rating and for like 100 reviews, that looks good and it's going to be on the top of the list. And so I think that's like a way to encourage people to actually want to build it for us and encourage trainers to come onto the platform. Maybe in time, we can have it being like a paid feature. I'm not sure yet though. But like have people charge others for it. But I mean that would come way later on.
Definitely. I mean, I think I have some long-term plans or ideas that we'll go over later about how we could incorporate, like payments for programs and services and stuff. But let's stay like on like the near-term focus for now, because I feel like you have more feature ideas.
One other thing I was thinking about is a workout generator. And this would be something where it's not specifically for people who want like the exercise that's going to make them run the fastest, just like the biggest, lift the most, but it's for people who are more lightweight and just want to open up the app and do like a fun random workout, where it'll generate, if based on terms like say we choose one of the 5 things like muscle endurance, muscle strength. You choose one of those and you say, what your duration, how much time you have, and it'll generate like a whole workout through like a warm up phase. Like, if you're doing say muscle strength, it'll give you like 2 heavy lifts and then go into like 5 lighter lifts depending on how much time you have, and then it'll end with like a cool down, like where maybe you like walk for a little bit or you go and stretch. So it'll generate a random one for you, and then you can go in and like switch it out if you want to switch out the exercises. But given the parameters, like it'll choose, like for example, the heavy lifts. Say for chest, it'll choose between dumbbell chest press, barbell chest press, or incline, decline, something like that, and it'll go into like lighter chest lifts and then an accompanying target muscle like triceps.
Yeah, that's interesting. First of all, I do think we need some sort of like warm up feature, right? I've been thinking about that as like just like a beginning page of the workout, and for instance, like there's this suggested warm up, for squats that I found, which is like do like a couple minutes of rows, do like high knees, do box jumps, like 10 box jumps, do and some like normal squats, right? And then go into your squats. Well, like we don't need like 3 sets of each of those. So, I was thinking we could just have like a warm up page. You can add those in, because just basically 1 step of each, instead of having all 4 or 5 of those on their own page. That'd be like a lot of like scrolling, and maybe you just have a check box, like a little check mark, and you'd say like did it, and then you move on. And so that we could and then pull that into your generator too, right? As that's the template that then we use for your generator, and all of those get auto populated based on based on the parameters you put into it, right?
Yeah, and so like when for the initial workout tracker, or like the workout page that we have, it'll like the first thing it opens up to is the warm up, and so you have like a flag. In the code you have like a flag that says what stage you're in of the workout. So it'll just say like it'll check like, okay, are you in the warm up stage, and it'll go to that portion of it'll show that data, and it'll once you're done with that, it'll move on to the next stage, and then it'll show you what you normally see. But
yeah, man,
take that temperature for
that. I think that's a good idea, but well, something that this kind of ties into, everything ties into this, is that I really think at some point it will be expensive, but we need all the animations. Like we need all 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm going to start looking for a new animator because we lost touch with that other guy. But as of right now, right, that if you just generated, a workout program, 90% of the exercises are not going to probably have an animation connected to them. And then that might not be helpful, So, it might be, or if you just said, if you only allowed it to pick from the exercises that do have an animation, it wouldn't be it would generate very similar animation or like workout programs usually, So
in the meantime, we could do something like that's less extreme until we get that where it gives like an SVG. Like we just download SVGs from the internet of like what the exercise is like squats. You just have like a animated, not even animated, just like a drawn dude that you find online that is like holding a squat rack, and so you just throw that in there for the meantime.
Yeah, we could, but that's a lot of finding pictures and putting the code in and doing all that for a feature that we plan on replacing very soon. Like,
Yeah.
Or I don't know if we own the rights to those pictures, or next thing I know, I'm like drawing pictures and I'm like, wait, fuck, I should just be making animations.
Yeah, I mean, it depends
I'm
on how long it would be until we get those animations.
on the stock images like .com type of free images, like they definitely don't have all of these variations in there. So I don't know. We'd have to like
broad, like if anything to do with a squat, like just goes this one image of a squat.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Like it says barbell squat, like, or there's like a picture of a guy doing a squat, and we use that for like barbell squat, dumbbell squat, Smith machine,
Right.
anything like, and it just like shows the range of motion, but it doesn't show what equipment it is.
Right.
And we have like 20 of those, and those are like placeholders.
Right. That's
everything.
Kind of for that.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense to me. Yeah, we could definitely do that. But yeah, I should just, yeah, I definitely would like to get someone who's like in the country this time, who's not like overseas, and like just have like that I'm thinking that might honestly be like the next member of the team. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know how official he'd be on the team, but I think that's the one thing that you basically can't do, which is, fine. And like, I feel like it's just so urgent compared to like other things. I'm starting to learn more about fitness. I'm like, I feel like we just need 900 more animations in this app. And
yeah.
I feel like over time, like if he finished 900 of them, he could start improving the old ones and like maybe make like a female character, or, like I just feel like he would never run out of work to do. It's not like outsourcing like one thing, like, hey man, can you make us like a logo? Like, right. I don't want that person on the team. I just want to pay them to make a logo. But
yeah, but there's so much stuff that needs like an art direction to it. Like the pictures of the awarded achievements, they need pictures to go with them. We need pictures, like just a single thumbnail picture for each one of the exercises. We need that. Like there's a lot of stuff that we need for this. And
so there'd be endless work for an animator to do, right? Like, are you agreeing with me on that?
I'm saying there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a finite amount, but like if we finish all that, it would just depend on if we've grown enough to like need more. If we start taking off, then we do need more like of an art direction. Like we need someone to tell us like, this color looks better than this color on this screen.
Mm-hmm.
We need that kind of a direction, because I'm not an art guy. I can spend some time on it, but like that means I'm not spending time making new features. So like,
mm-hmm.
It would take a while for me to learn, how to do, blooper or whatever it is, and animations and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I might put out like a legitimate like LinkedIn or like Facebook. You can do the same thing on Facebook, like job. I don't know. I could look on Fiverr too. But I met a lot of foreign people through Fiverr and stuff. Like, I don't want to pick one of our friends, but I wouldn't mind picking someone who like lives in the U.S. And we could pay him to do like 100 animations. If it goes well, start talking to him about joining the team. But so, and if anyone hears this conversation, maybe, and they're an animator, hit me up. But like that's why I keep talking about it too, because just maybe it'd be cool if like a fan of the podcast could help. I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt I probably have to go looking a little bit further, but I feel like that is holding us back from like things like randomly generating a workout plan, right? Because
Yeah.
or it just at least would extremely enhance that feature if we didn't have to worry about which exercise it picked, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's certain things that like are like needed in a workout app that just like require someone to make those. Like, you know, you either need pictures or you need animations of like of a person doing it. And that's like a serious thing. And if you want to make a game, like you need people to make art for you. You need like these SVGs made, like, and they need to look cool. And so like, because a game is all about like flashy lights and making things look cool and making the player feel rewarded for doing what they did, you know. We need like cool, like we have like a kind of like an animation when you get an exercise done, it comes up and it pops up with the gains, but like that needs to be like 10 times more. That needs to be like, you need a fucking rush of endorphins every time you complete an exercise.
Yeah, those are easier to find. Like I found those metal ones. I had to pay for like a service for a month or two, and then I canceled it. But theoretically, all like we can reuse, I think, any gaming like little symbol or icon, or we can find a bunch of those online easier than we could find like all the exercises. You know, they're not super easy to find online, or they cost a little bit, but that's not an impossible hurdle. But the animator would still then help, you know. But that's not an impossible hurdle. I think the medals look cool, but yeah, man, dude, I had to pay for like Adobe, and then they charged me a cancel, and then when you pay for something for a month and then you cancel it,
Yeah,
they charged me a cancellation fee too. So
ridiculous.
I don't want to. It's more than just a month if I want to log back into Adobe and then cancel it again. It was like
Right.
a $50 cancellation fee. I kind of hate Adobe sometimes, man. I'm sorry to say it, but like they're annoying. But anyways, maybe a different platform. But yeah. Okay, so you said to generate a workout idea. What do you have something else, or
The other thing,
you're on a roll, man? So
like this is getting more like out there, but having like live streams of workouts where, you know, you have people do a live stream and then save for later and people can go through it again, but like it shows you, it has a trainer doing these things through, and giving information as they go along, or doing like a class with a workout bike. But like that's something like way on that I'm not even sure.
Yeah, you told me I should make like a trainer video or something, and I was like, whoa, I don't think I'm ready to do that yet, man. Like, I feel like I need to be a trainer for at least like a year or something. Like, I don't know. I do feel more prepared to be a personal trainer than obviously before I took the certification, but I feel like I would need some more experience with clients before I feel like the guy who can like oversee like a online like a training video or something, you know? Like I could probably do it, but I don't know. It just seems like I should be a little bit more professional before I just start filming myself like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd be kind of annoyed basically if I paid for like a video class and I was like, oh, this guy's cool, and someone's like, yeah, he got his personal training certificate yesterday. I'd be like, wait, like hold on, like, what the fuck?
If we get like traction, like we get like, this would be like if we got endorsements, and you know there's a way to like really like blow the app up with money, and you could go and pay trainers to do this for you, like, you know, pay them like $50 a week to do like one video a week where they hold a live session, and so people can just join in or like do a previous one. That's what Peloton does, and they charge like a $50 a month like subscription for it. Or it's a little bit less, but like if you have a Peloton bike, you don't need the bike to do the app, but you can just go on and like do a class, and it's all on bikes, but like you could expand that to do other stuff. But this was essentially be like stuff where you'd probably have to pay like trainers to go in and make content. You need to have content creators for that to have it actually be a full thing. And that would be, you know, if we really start getting users and
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that is a great idea, but a little bit out of our grasp. So wait, speaking about the Peloton bike, I've been curious about this. It's basically like a little computer right there, right? On the screen.
yeah,
Do they have like like is that software open for developers to like create an app on the Peloton bike, or is it like a closed environment?
dude, I feel like it's got to be a closed environment. That's like a
Is it like
really
why
high.
wouldn't it be like the iOS App Store? Why wouldn't little people like why wouldn't developers be able to create little games and shit that you can like
I, I think it's because the bike costs $2,400 and super closed source. Like that's
yeah,
my impression. I have no idea though, but I
because
just like my feeling from it is that.
because a lot of times I go home and I plug in my exercise information afterwards, like imagine you lift and then you jump on the Peloton and then you just pull up our app and then you start like plugging in your what you just did in your workout, or you jump on and off the Peloton and do a set or something. But I mean, it wouldn't be like the best use of our time, but it wouldn't hurt anything just to have like an interface on the
Right.
Peloton. I don't know. I guess you're probably right. It's probably not open for development.
I think not enough people yet have a Peloton too,
Hmm.
but like you could do that on like possibly a watch. Like we could develop for the watch and
Hmm.
like have them pull up their exercise on their wrist and just be like, did this. Oh, I need to change that real quick and just be able to quickly like change the numbers or change the exercises. It's not a full fledged app on there, but it's on the watch.
Hmm.
So you could do something like that.
That might be okay for some of those like EMOM start stop extra workout programs, like you were saying, that time interval ones.
Right.
But I don't know. I would not want to do too much on the watch for sure. I
Just
don't.
what you need, like, it all needs to be easily like just like already set up for the user. Like did
Mhm.
this, did this, and so that's
Yeah.
why like beforehand being able to like configure it so like okay, you're gonna do 10 reps and you're gonna do 8 reps, 6 reps, and like for this exercise and the next one. So it's all like or configured, and you just press stop and start even for the weighted exercises
Hmm.
for people who
Got
are
you.
following along. Maybe I've figured out an easier way to like change the weight where it's like a little scrolling thing where it has like the weight on a scroll bar and you just scroll and click it and it's done rather than having to type it in. So that's a little bit easier. But like if you only have to put in the weight and the weight is easier, then it makes actually using the app while you work out a lot easier.
Hmm.
And if we have like flashy animations, then they're actually going to want to use it.
Yeah. This goes into some of the stuff I wanted to talk about. So I do agree, right? I've been trying a lot to think about like the input of the user, right, and how to make that easier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull up my notes. Hold on. So okay. Yeah. So you were saying if you set the reps of a workout ahead of time, basically, then they only have to put in the weight, right?
Right.
Um, a little bit different than that, but I thought of a way to make things easier, which at the very least, just autofill what your previous set was. So a lot of times, unless it's like a bench press, like my barbell bench press, like my main workout program for like as I get further into my workouts, usually I'll just do like 3 sets of dumbbell curls with the same amount of reps and the same amount of weight. You know what I'm saying? So say I do like 10 reps of 30 pounds of dumbbell curls. If you press log, right? And then it just auto fills that into the next one down. You know what I'm saying? So if I do that again, I just press log again and then it goes to the next one. So you know how we have like the lighter text, filled in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like that. It would be like actually filled in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then even if it was like the first set of this workout program, if you've already done this exercise before, just go to your history and grab the last set from like a week ago, and then you more than likely, right, you're going to be doing that same amount, or even if you're not, you might just be changing the reps or the weight. Like,
Yeah.
let's say the next week I'm doing 12 reps by 30 pounds. Well, then it'll show up as 10 by 30, and then I'll just change the reps, or, one or the other, So I think a lot of people would probably do that,
Yeah.
a lot of people will just go in and do the same 3 sets,
Yeah.
So it will either make their lives a lot easier, or if they just change one of the values each time, maybe they're going up in weight or they're going up in reps,
Yeah. So I
then
think we should combine this then, because then,
yeah.
so what I have already right now in my like development code is I have on the configuration, you can set what the default is. You can say like, okay, my default weight and reps or minutes and miles is going to be this. And so when it builds the exercise or the workout, it auto populates that. So it's actually in the value. So you don't even have to, at the moment, if you have a default value, you don't even have to input anything. It's just there. And so we can do that combined with, if they don't have a default value set, then it goes to the last one.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Get both ends covered. And then not yet, but one step further would be, so a personal trainer can say, all right, you should be doing 8 reps and you should be doing 60% of your 1 rep max, or 50% of your 1 rep max, maybe. Then you could autofill both in dynamically. You could say, okay, 8 reps, because everyone can do 8 reps. And then what if this person has any data on this exercise already, you can grab what their 1 rep max, 60% of it would be. And the only problem with that is, like, say 60% of their 1 rep max turns out to be like 32.8 pounds. Okay, well then there's not a dumbbell that says that, So then we would just have to adjust for that and either go up to 30 or down to 30 or up to 35. And to do that, we'd have to just think about it and know like the range of every set of dumbbells and stuff. Like it's like at some gyms, they go up by 10 pounds each of the machines, and some gyms they go up by 7.5, or they're in kilograms, or I don't necessarily want to go down that road yet, but that is the next step too, I think,
Yeah. So right now with my like spin bar thing, it's like a list. So I have like my weight goes like 1, 2, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, and it goes like 10.5, 15, all the way up to like 30, and then it starts going by fives.
Yeah.
So like, the way I've seen it most of the time, where it goes by like 2.5 for a little bit, then it goes to 5, and then it goes to 10 once you get up to like 100. But even at that point, some of them still go by fives. So that's where I have it right now. And then at the very end, I have one that says custom. So when you click that one, then it comes up with a pop-up where you actually like input it.
True. Yeah. I'm not sure. We can probably do some research and figure out if that is the most common progression,
Yeah.
I think dumbbells is pretty standard too, dumbbells are a good placeholder for how to like build like a feature,
Right. I mean, that's what I built it thinking. I was like, what the dumbbells are, rather than what like you would be putting in for a barbell, which would obviously be a lot different.
Yeah, but we just gotta like it. I don't know if we should make this different. If we should differentiate this yet, but there's like a big difference between someone who's a trainer making a workout program and someone who's just a user. Because a trainer might sit down and make a whole 3 or 4 weeks right in at one moment, because they know how they want to progress things and stuff, and they might want to put in the reps or the a suggested percent of their 1 rep max for weight or things like that. But a user who's not a trainer, like the way I use it right now, before I'm gonna become a trainer, is like I just build day 1, and then I go to the gym, and then I build day 2, and then I go to the gym, and then I'm not gonna sit there and build 10 weeks out necessarily, because I don't know how I want to progress over 10 weeks, and I don't know how I want to vary my reps and my weight and my exercises over 10 weeks right now, I don't. So I don't know if we want to differentiate, like on your Discover page, like this was a trainer built workout program, this was a user built one, or, this one is just a grouping of exercises, and this one is everything, that like it's hard to draw the line because there might be a user who knows a little more than me, and there might be a trainer who, like someone who might want to do suggested reps and someone else who might want to take it a step further, or suggested sets at least. I don't know. There's just so many different little variations you could put along the way that I don't know if that is something, like you were saying, we should structure in the reps, or if we should put it like in a note, in like the little notes that you have right now.
Yeah.
Because it might be structured in, and then someone is like, I don't actually want to do this many reps every time, so they have to change the structured part of it, or I don't know. I don't know how to make it. I don't know the perfect way to make it structured and flexible, but we can definitely do what we said on the autofill, and then, I guess when you make a workout day, it should be the way it is now, but then you can there should be a way to go in and set all the reps, ahead of time without executing the workout. Executing the workout
right now. That's in there right now, where on the, like the list item for the exercise, there's a button that says edit, and then it pulls up this page, and then you can set like different values. Like, so if it's a cardio exercise, you can say like, okay, what's my distance? What's my default distance? Or if it's you can add in sets, and you can add in for each one of those sets, either the weight and reps or the minutes and miles. Mm-hmm. So you can like click like add, and it'll add a new set, and then you can click on the different options and say, this is what my weight is, this is what my reps is for that rep. So you can do that. You can set how many reps or how many sets you want to do and what the values are for that. But then you can also just set what the default is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that, because then like it should definitely just be like secondary, because then like it would be annoying if you had to set the reps just to make a workout, right? Right. Because what if you don't want to, or you don't know? So as long as it's secondary, then it's like, if no one chooses to do that, then it won't hurt them, but if they do want everything to be set up ahead of time, then it will be,
Yeah. If they want to go in, that's like where like having like a trainer build it, where like they know like this is for like muscle strength, where like they can only set that, like you have 3 reps or 3 sets that go 10, 8, 6 or 10, 8, 6, 4, and then they leave the weight blank for the user to do. Mm-hmm. So it's like open-ended, but they at least say that there's 4 sets and you go down in weight, or go down in reps. I mean, mm-hmm. And then they can add in little notes that say like you want to go up in weight.
Yeah, they should have the ability to do that, right? But then, I remember why it might be different. But another trainer might want to make a program where they just say, we suggest you do 8 to 12. You know mm-hmm. what I'm saying? And they don't have it set 10, 8, 6. Like, yeah. And so I guess they could just put it in the notes, because
that's what the process was on that.
I guess it should just be able to like be either way, whatever they want, because they might not want, it might not be like a 5x5 or an 8-6-8 workout. It might just be like, hey, this is, do whatever you can between 8 and 12, because sometimes maybe you want to push like the weight you're doing, and so you just want to have like a zone to try to hit on reps, so that you're pushing yourself as hard as you can. I don't know. I guess we'll need some more trainer feedback on that, but
I mean, at least right now you can do all of that. You can set it to do whatever you want. If you want it to just be in the notes, you can do that. If you want to set only the weight, you can do that. If you want to set only the reps, you can do that. So it's just like, right now it's pretty flexible, but it's not like filling a lot of that information in for the user automatically.
Got it. Okay. And then this is another idea I have, that this should really help building workouts programs, right? Because right now, like we're saying all this stuff, but like we need people who are trainers to actually like build some programs, right? Right. So create a duplicate option on a workout day or a routine, right? So they're called workout days right now. I was telling you we should switch the name to routine, but that's just like a one day in your program, right? So say I have a chest and back day on week 1, the week 2 chest and back day might be the exact same, and then I just add one exercise or tweak one exercise or change the amount of sets on it or do something very small to it, right? But
Yeah.
right now I have to go in and I have to build that whole routine over again. And it's really annoying for me right now. What I end up doing is right now I would just like say I want to switch out one exercise for the other one. I would add the new exercise and then I would just do the routine and just skip the one that I don't want. You know what I'm saying? So you know where it says edit a workout day or a routine or delete it. There should be another option there that just says duplicate, and then it would be like chest and back day for week 1 just gets duplicated to chest and back day for week 2. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
you could duplicate it again, duplicate it again, duplicate it again. Now you have 4 weeks, and then you can go in and just tweak each week. That way, I
Right.
can just build the first week of a routine, and then I can duplicate, or we could even have a duplicate week, honestly, maybe. But for now, we could just do duplicate day, and then basically a pop-up would come, and then you would just pick a new week to put it on, and it would have like the same name. It would just change the week, or maybe it would have like the autofill the name, and then maybe you can just switch it from, switch the name to week 2 or, whatever you want to name this new routine, but it would be about the same, Yeah. And so that's a big one, I think, as far as like building programs, because even me right now, I'm kind of like, I don't want to build a whole nother day,
Yeah.
I just want to work out. And so I keep changing that same day, which is not how it's supposed to work.
Okay. Then yeah, let's do that. I'll add that in because I'm like pretty close to getting to a new release with like a bunch of fixes and a bunch of new stuff and making stuff look better. So I'll like add that in as like a quick thing to for this next release.
Yeah, I think that one and the autofill one could be just added to the next release really easily. I think the autofill one would be easy. Just check what the last set was or the last piece of the history was, autofill that in. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not there, it's not there. But if it is there, fill that in, and then they just have to press log if they did the same thing as they did last time.
Yeah, let's do that. Just letting you know, I am gonna go to bed at 11 o'clock. I have to wake up at like 6 in the morning to drive home. So
okay,
I'm gonna head off here in like 10 to 15 minutes.
That's fine. All right, then I can talk fast and we'll wrap it up. Okay. So this is a big one, and this will probably be the next release, right? We need to move the medals into the achievement feature. So the achievements right now and the medals are kind of similar, right? I think we both had a similar concept, and I made one, you made one, and we just went with it, right?
Yeah.
So we need to keep a lot of the medal UI, and then we need to keep the achievement logic because you have that tied into pop-ups and stuff. So it's really good.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked at what you were doing on the achievement page, and it doesn't really make sense because you have like the number, 1 or 2 or 3, like the level, right? You have those levels of the achievements. Those should be replaced with, there should just be 3 of them, and it should just be called gold, silver, bronze now. You know what I'm saying? And instead of even saying that, we could just show all the medals and all the achievements. And then when the pop-up comes, we should replace that little bicep thing you have with either a gold, silver, or bronze, silver, or gold, image. And then it should say, it's very confusing right now of like what actually gets that. So then you need to say, like say it's followers, it says like 10 followers, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like level 1 followers, because it's like, what did I do to get that,
Yeah.
Or, and so for all the medals, we can incorporate that in too. So we could say, now you have 10 chest exercises in your library. Here's a bronze medal, and so you already have all the logic in there for the pop-ups, and you already have the space to put the image, and then we just need to like tighten up that UI and make more sense, and then those should be just one feature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can call it achievements, and then on top of that, like I like the ones you have, add in the ones I have, and then on top of that, there should be one more big achievement, which is just what level you're on. And the reason we should do this is because we have 100 levels in the app, and the achievements are already tied into a pop-up. So like the app, it doesn't really register with you that you're playing a game app yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for this one, I don't know if you want me to go make some like UI like level 1, or if we should just input text into this pop-up, but it should do a pop-up that says pop-up level 1, pop-up level 2, pop-up level 3.
Yeah.
And I think we can just tie that in. We can just make an achievement for all the levels, and boom, that'll just be taken care of without a new separate feature or function for that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just like, and that's like quick on the UI, or it's mostly on the back end to just do the logic of saying like, okay, is this a new level? And then,
Yeah.
and then you just send it over to the app.
But then we need to find like a middle ground between the two front views of the achievements and the medals, and we might want to collaborate on that, or I'll maybe do some designs, but I don't think they're either of them are quite perfect right now.
I like how yours has like the bronze, silver, and gold, and it's kind of in like a nice list format. But yeah, actually, I mean, I want to take yours and then tweak it just a little bit to make it a little bit different. I'm not sure how I did mine just so like it was just fucking there. Like I didn't really put any effort to make it look good. So I don't really want to use mine. I like how yours is formatted with the metal. So I want to use that. I'm not sure what I want to change it yet.
Okay. Well, you can expand on mine then, but pull in your back and keep using the achievement logic for it.
Yeah.
You know, and then add your achievements to my medals page. And then they should each have a little medals icon, and the levels should be changed from 1 through 3. And then they should just be called gold, silver, bronze, silver, gold. Yeah. And then you can like elaborate on my front end if you want to.
Maybe I'll look at some other apps that do something similar to this for like inspiration.
Yeah. I got mine from Pokemon Go. I like the way that they do their medals and achievements. It's okay. Very just casual at the bottom of your profile page on Pokemon Go, and they just have, you know, a name and a medal, and then you click on it, and it has a pop-up, I think, on Pokemon Go, maybe with more information about it.
That's what we'll do.
Because you should know, it should, just like how the levels say you're 100 out of 200 points. The medal, if you click on it, or maybe on that front screen, should tell you like right now you're at 13 out of 20 followers and you're silver. If you get to 20 followers, you're gold. So like it should have like that division sign, like 13 over 20 silver, you know, that way, you know, okay, you know, like how far away you are from the next achievement level.
Yeah, that'll be pretty easy. You can do that.
Yeah. There is one more other big idea that I wanted to throw out there, and it's definitely just an idea. So I'm going to it's going to be a little rushed since you're trying to leave at 11, but here's my idea, right? It's a long-term idea. I've kind of come back to the gym idea as just, you know, something that I always return to, right? What I'm thinking about is like, I do like the smart equipment is dope and everything, right? But the more I think about it, the more if you get this app in a personal trainer's hands, right, then they could track everything for a user, right? And then we're basically like simulating the effect of a smart gym without the equipment, without all the smart technology. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if like I start doing personal training like on the side here, once I get my certificate, if I can start charging people for my training, and then I enter in all their shit, you know, in their meetings for them ahead of time. And like you were saying, and then I start like decreasing their amount, how much I'm charging for them for the training as they level up. Like, as I've always said with the gym, like it should and I do a little like test, a little simulation with like 5 people, and like I lower the rate of their training. You know what I'm saying? If they all respond well to that, like as a test, like that went really well, you know, that motivated me. then what I'm thinking is like in like 2 years or 3 years, like opening, like whenever Sabrina finishes grad school, like opening up a gym, right? And then in the gym, uh, you have all these personal trainers, and say the gym costs like $100 a month. You know what I'm saying? You can decrease the amount of your monthly rate as long as a trainer enters in your thing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just like put your information into the app and get a discounted gym. So that motivates people to go seek out the personal trainers. So then you're like paying like whatever, $50 a session for a personal trainer. He always gets $50 a session, so it doesn't mess with his bag, right? But every time you level, and he follows you around the gym, gives you advice, creates programs, and then he enters all your information in, and then it decreases. And so we trust the trainers to, and that's basically decreasing their membership fee. You know what I'm saying? And then we run that like as a simulation, you know what I'm saying, to see how and like we start tweaking that experience, you know what I'm saying. Then over time you replace it with the smart equipment, and that what that does, it allows the trainers to start managing more and more people, you know what I'm saying. But I feel like it's a mistake to focus on the smart equipment as like that's going to replace the personal trainer, you know. Like I read some book where they're talking about LinkedIn, how LinkedIn didn't replace the recruiter, it gave the recruiter the tools to recruit more, you know what I'm saying. So I feel like we need to get it all focused around the personal trainer and make the personal trainer like the ultimate, like it's a software for him to manage like his clients and enter in, like start it off with him entering in all their information, you know, and then slowly go move towards smart equipment where now he can manage like 40, 50 clients instead of 20, you know. And so I don't know if I should open up the gym or not, but that is like one path forward I've been thinking of, where you could get all the effects of smart equipment without without any smart equipment, you know what I'm saying? And just give it in the hands of trainers, you know, like you were saying, you know, they could kind of like create all these programs and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know what you think of that. I know you're not as crazy about the gym idea as I am, but
I mean, I think the personal trainer thing is always a good idea. And, you know, like the gym thing right now is obviously not a good idea, but who knows what it's going to be like in 2 years. So like moving towards that point is not a bad idea, and getting those features and having it so that the user can use it with a personal trainer where they enter in all the stuff and give them feedback, or just use it on their own. You know, either way, I think it's a good idea.
Well, yeah, the flip side of that too is if we decide like we can't open up a gym. Maybe we just don't get investments, or it just seems like a bad idea. We could go back to the white labeling idea where you white label this app to gyms and then put it in the hands of trainers that way. You know what I'm saying? And do my same idea, except we don't have the ability to like motivate them through like a financial reward or something. Like then it's just in the hands of the gym, and that decreases how much the gamification kind of matters, I feel like. But that's obviously a much less riskier plan forward, you know?
I mean, you could do some sort of white labeling within the app where like in the app the gym sets up their own like kind of gym profile, and then you have it's all under the app, but like the gym operates their trainers through the app, and like stuff like that, or just have a completely different app that's white labeled for gyms. But you know how like, you know, LinkedIn, there isn't a LinkedIn for every recruiter, but you know, people go in and they do all their work, like they get people through LinkedIn, and people set up their own companies, they set up their pages through LinkedIn and operate kind of through that.
Yeah.
So you can gyms operate through the app with their own kind of gym pages.
Or the final angle there is to, instead of white labeling it, make it Drive Fitness, the app, but all online training. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like online trainers it's still just using Drive Fitness as a website or an app, but we don't have that facility to facilitate the the stuff, which means, and that means we would need better animations and things like that, and better ways of sending video. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have to record videos of themselves and send it to the online trainers and just add in all the online features, which would be a totally fine path forward too. But I think, like, honestly, my vision of a smart gym, we could take what we have right now and put it in a gym and just make the trainers do everything, and then it simulates that experience already without, you know what I'm saying? We actually wouldn't need as many animations because the trainers would be there in person to teach them anything, to watch their form, to, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then they're just there logging it in, you know?
Yeah. And then I think with that, we just need some better ways to analyze the data at that point. Cause then the whole point would be for them to go back and look, because the trainer can tell them either way, but like the trainer can then show them like, hey, you see that you're doing this, like through graph, and then explain it to them in person.
Yeah. And then we're guaranteed at least 20, you know, really good feedbacks from these 20 trainers, or maybe I have 10 trainers in the gym. Now there's 10 people being like, hey, Tom and Matt, this graph doesn't help anything. It's not useful, you know? And you're like, or the gains equation, it sucks or whatever. Like then we can build the analytics that the sum of these 10 or 20 trainers in my gym decide they want, you know?
Right.
We could focus in on that test group of this gym facility, these 20 people, and then, you know, and the price of the gym, and we could experiment with all sorts of variables to see what is going to actually bring this person the best experience. You know what I'm saying? If that goes well, then you can scale out to smart equipment and a chain of gyms, right? But, you know, it would be a very interesting test group, and it would be a very interesting, like, hands-on experience to put this in the hands of like 10 or 20 trainers and force them to use it, and force everyone in the gym to use it, because we're offering a monetary reward on the membership price. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we need for them to like have on the app, you would have to build in like a trainer profile page where they can, or like not a trainer profile, but a trainer screen where they can go in and click on their clients and actually enter in that data.
And we could test that out soon with me and Sabrina. We work out together. I could have her app. I could go to the gym with Sabrina and I could enter in all of her information for her.
Okay.
We could try to do that. I don't know. Yeah, but like we can start simulating that scenario in the next couple months. Not like we're about to like really refine the features we have now. So I want to keep it like that.
So what we could do with that is then I could just like throw it together, not worry about like the look and feel of it, but like just throw it together on a new page that you can go to, and test it out how you think about it. Not like, because a lot of times I spend a lot of time caring about like, oh, it's got to be this like this close to this part and like how it actually looks. But you know, if I'm just throwing stuff together, just to be able to input data for another person, then I could do that a lot faster. Mm-hmm. So if I could just throw that on a branch and have you test it out in the next couple months.
Yeah.
A lot easier. Yeah.
Let's not worry about it right now, but, and we can wrap this up now, but that idea came to my, that idea has been kind of formulating for the last couple of days. I wanted to share it and, you know, then we'll both reflect on it. That's not like the definite plan moving forward, but it feels as good as any, you know?
Yeah. Think about what we should focus on, what the app should be and what like the target market should be. Cause like sometimes I think, you know, our target market should be, you know, trainers. And then I'm like, well, like I want anyone to be able to just download the app and pick it up and have a good time with it. So like, I hung up on like what I want the target market to be.
That's something I've been thinking about because I've been reading this book. It's called 0 to 1, about just like making like this product that doesn't exist yet. You know what I'm saying? And right now we have our hands in a lot of different types of fitness apps and products that kind of already exist. And like, we do need to hone down on like what makes us different, you know, and where it's going to fit in, you know?
That's why I'm thinking like this heart rate stuff could at least a heart rate and that workout generator is just like something that came to mind that's like totally different. At least the workout generator is, where it's like not like specifics to like hardcore people, but it's like it's definitely more of the gamification where like I just want to pick it up and have fun. I want something that's cool and interesting, like a random new workout to do that's interesting and fun. But then there's the use case for the trainers where it's like there's a definite path forward with that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that once we get this a little bit more locked in, like to a like no bugs, it works very well, then you can really start experimenting with features like that generator, and just those might be ideas that you need to experiment with and then decide if you like it after you know
Yeah. I've been
after
going
you.
back and forth and thinking about it. I'm not sure yet.
It might sound sick, and then the first workout you generate is like you're like, I don't want to do this, like, you know, and then you're like, okay, back to the drawing board. But I don't know, that one is definitely going to be trial and error, I think, on how it would turn out, you know.
I've been thinking of like not like actually coding, but just like writing down like what the workouts would actually be. But like I'm still not really sure about it. So that's why I've not really done any coding on that. Just like fucking throwing down ideas. But
no, it's a good. I do like it. I do like it.
The apps
I'll think on it too.
Yeah, the apps get into a place where I'm working on performance now and like fixing bugs along the way too. So I think in the next, like, I want to put out this next update within the end of the week, and then after that, I'm just completely focusing on making things look good, making it run well, and all that. So
you've been killing it lately, man. Thanks for meeting. This was really productive, and then I think we now have an audio record too of some ideas. So this should be interesting to look back on.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you like it, make a podcast of it. You know,
I think it turned out well. I'll send it to you before I release it, but I think it turned out pretty well, dude.
Me too. No,
hell yeah,
definitely down to put it out.
Yeah, man.
Well, okay, man. Well, this was dope.
Yeah, hell yeah. Good to connect with you, man. Good luck with your job, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Yo, appreciate it. You too, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Thank you guys so much for listening all the way to the end of today's episode. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on the App Store. If you have not done so already, I would really appreciate that. All right. Have a fantastic day, guys. Peace, love, and positivity.